early today. Pretty early. It's raining here in Tennessee. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Jamie with Southeastern Soul Tribe. If you've not been to my channel before, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And for those who have, thank you for returning and thank you for your support. I really appreciate all of you. I have personal readings for $35. All you got to do is click that About section or the About or the description of this video or the About section of my channel. Gives you all the information you need to know. Alrighty. Now, I did premeditation on your reading. I've decided, here's what I'm going to tell you. Well, I'll tell you my notes, and then if we have to refer back to this, we will. I got the numbers 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. I noticed that 2 of the numbers are odd and 3 of them are even. And isn't it odd that 2 are odd, but it's an even number, and 3 are even, and that's an odd number? Seems a little oxymoronish to me. Anyway, so I went down some rabbit trails, and I heard which is which. And then, of course, the next song that I hear, straight down this side, was the Eagles, the song Witchy Woman. Ooh, witchy woman, see how high she flies. Did you know that Don Henley wrote that song about Zelda Fitzgerald, which is Scott Fitzgerald's wife? They were married. She was known as the first he wrote The Great Gatsby. All right. She was known as the first American flapper, but they were both artists, writers, creators. Basically, they both had great spiritual gifts that became very important. He was middle class, and she was raised a Southern Belle debutante. Crazy thing about them is their relationship ended in a great infidelity. But if you go and look into their relationship, like study the polarities of their past and bringing it up, look at the era when they were born and what they endured during their time. Their marriage happened during the Great Depression of things happening. She came from a hierarchical, at first she wouldn't even pay attention to him because he didn't have enough money for her. And then when his first novel became a hit, then she decided she'd marry him. And then their marriage ended in infidelity. She went into psychosis, ended up with a, they said she was schizophrenic. She had tendencies of being suicidal and homicidal, according to them. And she ended up passing away. He ended up leaving her and getting with a new woman, even though all that went down. He finally healed himself of alcoholism, which he suffered his entire time. So he dealt with addictions and things like that. So both of them, I'm sure, understands the shadow side of Capricorn tremendously, or they did. He ended up dying of heart failure after beating alcoholism. How's the irony in that? But it happens all the time. So, a lot of artists and people like that, very artistic people, really struggle. I have noticed a pattern during the years of me looking at people's birth charts that if you have Capricorn in the 12th house, you may struggle with addiction. Just saying. Check your houses, folks. I may be talking to a Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, or you tell me what's your experience. Anyway, that's what I got. Let's see what the actual reading holds for us. Let's see where this goes. For Capricorn's relationships, That was one of the cards that came out in the pre-shuffle, too. Interesting. They've been shuffled a bunch since then. For Capricorn, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. That's the third eye card. That's like third eye opening. At your own risk, Capricorn. At your own risk. Awakening. What does Capricorn need to see from our energy deck, Spirit? The door to romance. You got a new boo? Who your new boo? Or are you trying to find love? Ah, there we go. Oh, but there's financial constraints. And maybe you want to take a trip, a journey. I'm seeing the numbers 333 here. Isn't it odd that there were 3 even? 33. Ah, there is 333 here. Look here. Here's the 33. 2 and 1 makes 3, and this is a 3. Even though this is 4 and this is 2. That still comes up to 6 if you add all those together, and if you divide that. And 2 3s make 6, right? Either way, you've got multiples of 3 here. 333. Look it up. Also, financial constraints. They may be a thing, and this journey may be a thing. What I've learned is this isn't always meaning physical travel. Sometimes it's about an energetic thing. Even though she's got a suitcase, she is looking toward the past. So maybe a journey back toward a time when romance was a big thing in your life. But you had to travel through financial constraints during that romance. And if you'll notice that in the story that I just told about the witchy woman was written about the Fitzgerald lady. What was her name? Scott's wife? Zelda. All right. So he had to take a great journey through financial constraints to open the door to romance so that she would even look at him. Now, I wonder if that's something you're dealing with, Capricorn. I haven't looked up 333. I'd recommend you guys do that in your own time. Homework, sorry. I give everybody homework all the time, don't I? Trust me, I do my homework. I mean, look, I have to take notes all the time. This is today's notes only, all right? Yeah, I'm still writing in pink. So, that's yesterday's. This is today. Notes and research. These are how the days of our lives, right? But I'm a Gemini moon. And I'm a Libra sun. And I'm a Virgo rising and a Virgo Venus. Everything has to make sense. I got to have a plan. My Gemini moon makes me dig. I got to know the whys, ends, hows, and buts, and all that. But yet I need to be very diplomatic in my delivery and in my world. What message do you have for our Capricorn collective? I'm hearing that song. You don't even know who I am. You left me a long time ago. She said you don't even know who I am. What do you care if I go? What's the base of this reading for Capricorn? You might be dealing with a Taurus in the reverse. You might be dealing with the breaking apart of a tradition, a belief system, a commitment. This is crossed by the Six of Pentacles. The way it came out was in reverse. I'm concerned about that. I feel like that there is a misconception of an equal give and take here, or there might be a lack of. But it's crossing. Could be the reason for whatever's going on in this dynamic. I noticed with these cards and the way they fell that there was the door to romance was in this section over here. If I were to read that with timing, this would be the past, this would be the present, and this would be the future. So we're trying to go back to a past love that has been separated by financial constraint. This is a broken commitment of some kind, crossed by the Six of Pentacles coming in reverse. Typically in the upright, we're equally giving and taking to someone, but this guy is given to a beggar. Show me the recent past. Sexy. Queen of Wands. Very, very receptive. A lot of passion here. In the recent past, it's either you or them. This could be also Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Feminine energy, very receptive to passion, open. This person probably likes to have a lot of sex, but they like for it to be wild and crazy and somebody coming at them. Their confidence is high. They don't have to go after it. They'll sit here and wait on you to come to them. Anything else about the past for our Capricorns? Something revolving around truth and communication that didn't happen here. There was no truth and communication about something. It had to do with passion or attraction and confidence. Show me in the hopes and dreams for a Capricorn. Okay. We're going to say that these came out in the upright because I'm still confused. I'd kind of have to watch the video back to see if that really came out in the reverse of the upright. So I'm going to tell you the definition of either one and you can put it where it belongs. I don't know why there's confusion here, but there is. Now, one thing I noticed is I turned my deck upright when I did my shuffle today. I wanted to do a full upright deck. I do that occasionally, and then I let them shuffle in because when I pop the cards, if they come out in reverse, that's how it goes anyway. But now I can't remember at the moment whether this came out in the upright or the reverse. So I'm going to tell you what the meaning of this means in both places. The way that it came out, I felt like I picked it up this way, but every single one of them were reversed. So that's what makes me look at the deck. Okay. If that were reversed, because this is in the hope and dream section, we do not want to make a choice about a lover's connection or a divine connection or a partnership or coming together or something that is supposed to be divinely appointed. Or it's just we don't want to make a choice to work together with. We don't want to work together with someone that we've lost a lot of patience for that to us does not feel like a hope, a dream, or any healing can be done here. If this is in the upright, then we're making a choice to work together. And we have a lot of patience for someone who may be an Aquarius, or we've got a lot of patience for someone who, either someone who, or a dream, a healing. Maybe we want healing, or we are looking to equally give and take. I'm noticing the angelic covering here. This person holds 2 cups. This person holds 2 cups. And these are 2 people that are come together because they want to be together and not because they are chained to one another through karmic ties. This is a choice in love, in partnership, a choice, period. This is working together with, coming together within a group, having a lot of patience for dreams, hope, and healing. Okay? So, your dream, their dream, the dream. The upright would be the ultimate dream, you would think, but that's not always the case for anybody. All right. We're back in the shape, so let's see how it pops. For our fear, what is Capricorn fearing? This is just getting by, holding on to the little that we have, or just a maintenance phase. Feel like, in a way, I'm here and I feel like I'm going to be doing this forever. This is going to be it. And I'd ask you the same thing I'd ask somebody else, is where you're at right now, what you're doing on this very day, and this very thing that you're doing now, and the way you're living your life, is this how you want to do the rest of your life? If not, what one step, even the tiniest possible, can you take toward the direction of changing it today? That is the first step in manifestation of new things. It's first believing that something bigger or better is out there, envisioning that thing, and then creating a plan with your Virgo energy of what steps would I have to take to actually get there, and proving that you want to go there is taking the first step in that direction, no matter how big or small it is. How is that coming through? My ear's ringing, and I don't know why. Hold on. That's so weird. Why my Bluetooth thing during do not disturb would allow a ring to come in and it won't come up on the phone. That's so weird. Okay, back to what we were saying. You fear holding on to the same thing, but your manifestation is putting that first foot on the ground. So let's take an instance. Say you were thinking about going back to school. All right? I'm thinking about going back to school. So you sit down and you figure out what you want to go back to school for or whatever, and you envision it. You kind of see yourself doing it. And you sit and you think, well, could I work that into my plan? How could I do that and make money? All right. And then you start seeing windows of opportunity. So there's your vision. And so then you decide, well, I'm going to call and just see. So you make this phone call, and all of a sudden this new world opens up to you, because they're like, yeah, you can do this. And they say, well, the first step is you go online and you apply to a FAFSA. So then you've run out of time today because you got something else you got to do, but you're still thinking about it when you go to bed. So the next day, you get up And you remember that you were thinking about that yesterday, but you got all these things to do. And so you just forget about it. Or do you pick that thought back up and you say, you know what? I don't have a lot of time today, but what I do have time to do is to figure out what that website address is. So you go and you get your pen and paper and real quick you Google that fast food. You find the correct link and you write that down. And then you decide in your mind that I don't have time to do this right now, but I'm going to set aside time to do that tomorrow. So you wake up the next day and you think about that again and you envision it again. And you've actually set aside time the next day to go on there and to attempt to do that application. Say you got in the middle of that application and you can't get past the point. Well, that's okay. You don't take that as defeat. You save it where it's at and you work it in to the next day that you have time. That's active manifestation. That's putting boots on the ground, making things happen. Now, the difference in a dreamer, somebody who has got big ideas, and somebody who follows through and actually manifests the things into their life, are the person who can dream the dream and put the boots on the ground at the same time. That's how you get out of this place. Fear holds us here. Or stinking thinking. That's a side note for anybody who's here. If it comes to relationships, if you've been unhappy in something, changes have to be made. First step is having that communication that we didn't have up here in honesty and saying what you need to say. You might need to watch that one reading I did this week. Say what you need to say. I can't remember who it was for. But that was a big deal in that reading. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Maybe Capricorn needs to say something. Show me the near future if these energies stay the same. Reconnection, celebration, partying, coming together with more than one person. Friends, family, happiness. Investing. The 7 of Pentacles. So we go from the 6 to the 7. So when you get to the 7, you're investing time into something. You're planting the seed. That's progression here. We go from the 4 that's holding us back. Over here's 3. We're working together with more than one person, talking about planting seeds. And then we take what we've got and we choose that we're going to take the one that's in our hand and we're going to try and share it a little bit. And eventually the 3 that you have left multiplies into 3 more. That's 6 because you took one of these. You took a risk and you planted that seed. All right. And now you get 6. So if you keep going with that, that's why this guy has 5 up here and he's giving the 1 back over here. He's taking it out of here and putting it in here because it keeps going around and around. And next thing you know, you got 7. This is because we got out in the community and we created network. This is networking. And then we planted a seed. The seed we planted, now we've grown another one. Now we got 7 pentacles. What's an outside influence here? Resting upon, thinking about, dreaming of something, some ideas or thoughts that you might have got in your dream state, in your sleeping, must have came through. What about that, Spirit? Remembering sad times, taking a look, and it came through because we were thinking about things that we had lost. We didn't realize we had these 2 cups standing back here. And then we thought about the slow slog that it was going. But we got on our horse and rode anyway with our 1 pentacle. into the future. We turned our back on this feeling of loss. In our dream state, we saw ourselves doing that. We thought it up, we dreamed it or something like that, and we decided that that's either not happened yet, or it may come through in your dreams or through rest and relaxation, feeling that loss. Then we decided we'd pick it up, and we know it's going to be a slow build, but slow and steady wins the race, Capricorn. Taking the fool's journey right here in the near future. Taking the fool's journey, yes, this fool is looking straight at this Three of Cups. Camaraderie, coming together with people. And this is going to build major self-confidence in doing this. Then we've got the matching Queen and King of Wands on the table. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We've got Virgo. No, we've got... yeah, Gemini, Virgo. No, Gemini, Aries. We have Aquarius, Sagittarius. I said Gemini, didn't I? On the board. And Taurus in the reverse. We could have lost a home. We could have lost some kind of stability. There may have been somebody that was needy or begging involved. This King of Wands is looking at this fool, this journey that this fool has taken, but the King and Queen are looking at each other. They're also looking at this coming together we had in the threes. The number 3 was here. The number 3 of Pentacles is over here. So threes are still a factor in this reading. This increase has give us a new idea. There's a new offer coming from this new feeling of confidence that we have. And this Ace of Pentacles creates a tower, possibly for someone else, or it creates a great epiphany for yourself. It creates an eye-opening experience for you to see, which is probably why I got that third eye card. May have come from a younger water sign, or we're thinking about making a fresh new offer of friendship or something like that coming in the near future. And we may defend that at all costs because we learned our lesson about this. This is something that completed a cycle for us that's going to be very prominent in the near future. All right, let's get some animal oracle advice for our Capricorns. That's a pretty good reading, mostly. I don't know that song Witchy Woman, I don't feel like it was about which witch is which or whatever. I think that was the way that Spirit was trying to lead me into. The song was meant for me to hear, not really to... It was about the story behind the people who wrote the song, or what the song was written about, not about Don Henley. But he was intrigued because he had just read a novel by, he read Zelda's novel. But that may be something about that story, the financial binds, the psychological mishaps, the way that relationship evolved, what it was based on, and their success grew despite the craziness in their relationship. Their house fell, but the Great Depression came in and actually was a pressure point for their relationship falling too, but it never was built on a solid foundation to start with. Houses fall because they're not built on a solid foundation. And over here in the outcome, you get the tower. Towers don't fall unless they're built on a faulty foundation. Okay? So while their relationship was one for the history books, there's also a story in there. This is a couple that came together during a very hard time in the economy and in the world. But how prominent were they, and the legacy that they left spoke to art, even spoke to musicians that became hit songs. So you never know what your manifestations, what your artistic abilities or something like that is going to lead to. And if you've got somebody that you're in a relationship with that holds you back or diminishes your self-confidence, then you need to go in the direction that follows your hopes and your dreams, because you got one life to live that you remember right now. If you believe in past lives, then you know that if you don't complete your karma here, then you're going to do it in another life. You may or may not remember that eventually, but every bit of karma, you create karma in this life that you have to deal with, and you also create past life karma in this life that you got to deal with when you come back again. When you reincarnate into somebody else's or into a different body. But we want to know how to live life abundant here and not create any more karma for here, for right now. Because the rest of it, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there, right? We need to live this life while we're living it. But we need to be awake while we're living it so we can actually enjoy it. Because people are so worried about what happens after they die. They think of those. I mean, that's like that song that I was bringing up called Pepper by the Butthole Surfers. They were all in love with dying. They were drinking from a fountain that was pouring like an avalanche coming down the mountain. Everybody's walking around this world obsessed with what happens after they die. But what are you doing while you're living here on this earth? How are you making that abundant for yourself? Because it's your responsibility, no one else's. You have to make the magic happen. For Capricorn. You can alter your physical appearance and your mannerisms. They call this shape-shifting, but it's saying to practice that. So learn when you go out into the community, right? In order for you to be able to blend in a little better, you have to pay attention to the people around you and learn to blend in. But that don't mean become a different person than you are right now. But you can become anew by making a decision. It's not fake it till you make it. It's faith it till you make it. I heard 13 Moons say that, and I love it. You have faith until you make it. But sometimes if you want the position or you want the new thing, well, you got to look the part, right? So what can you do today to start looking like the thing that you want to be the most? It's part of manifestation. It's act as if, right? That's basically that advice. Act as if. Dress like it. Walk around here like it's already happening. But don't be dishonest with people when they say, well, you look like you're a whatever. Be like, no, but I want to be. If you so feel like telling them. But now is the time for deep emotional healing, Capricorn. So if you didn't come up in your reading at all, so that's interesting to me. I think this has something to do with maybe somebody you've been dealing with and your interaction with them and maybe your self-growth. It has something to do, I really feel like it has to do with your own self-growth, your own self-confidence, and that even if you're a single Capricorn out there, maybe you've been looking for love in all the wrong places. And now you've got to build up the foundation. If you want to be in a relationship with a certain type of person, then you've got to get yourself in alignment with them. You can't wish for to be with somebody that you're not already showing up as, because then that creates a spot for codependency. So maybe you need to take a journey back and fix your financial obligations. And that starts with manifesting the things that you want, so that you realize that you don't have to stand on anybody else or anything like that to get up there. You have more power than you give yourself credit for if you feel like you've been stuck. This says to accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. And sometimes that's about honesty. Sometimes that's about looking at it and saying, okay, I've been in this dreamy state about what I want to do, and I keep saying this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to do. But let's get real honest and write down right now, who am I really? Who am I? What is my living condition? What is my position right now? What do I do every day where do I want to be? And what am I doing each day to get me where I need to go? But be honest with yourself. Nobody has to read what you wrote. Let's pull out of the mediumship deck and see what kind of advice we have there. Capricorn. Inspiration, Capricorn. This inspirational mediumship is what it says, but it says, do you have a thought or idea suddenly appear seemingly out of nowhere? Have you ever given words or wisdom to someone, yet the advice didn't seem to come from you, but maybe through you? Well, this could be evidence that you were possibly spiritually inspired. It's inspirational mediumship is when spirit inspires the spirit within us. Through this type of mediumship, amazing works of art, literature, and advances in science and technology have been created in the physical world for centuries. When advice and guidance is spiritually inspired, whether to one person or a larger audience, that can make the difference even more extraordinary. So when spirit inspires us and we don't let our own minds cloud the information, there are no limits to what can be achieved. If you're ready to try this type, then there's an exercise to practice. And we're not going to go with that. But basically, like what I did this morning when I was writing and I heard the song Witchy Woman, but something in my spirit didn't feel like that was all. I can't put my finger on where that came from. So I just needed to know why that Don Henley wrote that song. That's the next question that came into my head. I was like, why is that coming up for Capricorn's reading? That's the first question I thought when I was like, what does that connect with anything? Which witch is which? Okay, I thought about Witchy Woman. Is that a coincidence? No, I started disbelieving in myself. But then I go and look, and I'm like, and then the more I talk about it, the more I'm realizing this is about the progression of inspiration. Of how I was inspired by a song to go look up the history of this. It all ties together. And then I'm telling you, and maybe whatever message you derive from that is an inspiration for you to do something different that you need to be doing. I don't know you, and I don't know where this goes from here, but I hope it helped, whatever it was. Anyway, Capricorn, it seems all over the place, just like the beginning of the whole thing. But yet there was some meat and potatoes in there for you. So anyway, I hope this helped. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for coming, and much love and light to you. Until next time, Capricorn.